listening to the Spirit Podcast.
Hello, dear friends, and welcome back to the Spirit. You may notice something a little different today. Our beloved Rachel is away this week, lovingly tending to her family. Please keep her in your hearts. But today I'm honored to have someone very special joining me, my mother. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Beck.
Are you excited about this show?
I am.
Well, for those of you who listen regularly, you know how much I value the wisdom that comes from the old ways, from deep listening from the soul of family itself. And today, we're diving into something big, something that has echoed through prophecies, dreams, and spirit messages for thousands of years. The Great Solar Flash. Before you imagine sci-fi disaster scenes, stop. We're not here today to frighten. We're here to remember. The solar flash, as we'll explore, is not an ending, but a call. A call to awaken, to prepare the soul, to remember who we truly are beneath the noise of this world. So, let's step gently into the space together. Welcome, Mom. I'm so grateful to have you here today.
I'm happy to be here, Beck.
Let's start with this little TikTok audio.
The Great Solar Flash event. So I've seen TikTok videos saying that's not a thing. It's not real. But if you do a little research, you'll find that it is a thing. Our ancient ancestors actually recorded this in stone for us. This event taking place in the sky, where you have the stick figures, which are actually plasma ejections, during this time period where the sun makes a big shift. And every single time it happens, it raises our consciousness. We go into an accelerated, ascended period, and then as the cycles go by, we go back down into a denser, darker period. So we moved from the Golden Age to the Silver Age to the Bronze Age and then the Iron Age, which is what the past 2,000 years have been like. And anybody who's watched movies or studied history knows that it was a very dark time. And before that, apparently, it was a beautiful time because there's still remnants from the Golden Age, the Silver Age, and the Bronze Age in the architecture, the art, etc., that our ancient ancestors had, even the technologies that they had. So what does this all mean? Everybody's like, oh, are you saying we're all going to die? You're a fearmonger. Nope, not saying that. I'm saying every time we go through one of these cycles, we go to the next level with our consciousness, except any beings on the earth that are not pure source beings, natural beings, do not make this shift. If you are someone that is so indoctrinated and do not have the capability to use your right brain function, maybe your right brain function is shut down and you're only on the left hemisphere going through your life, you will have a hard time with this. So it's important for your right brain and left brain to be balanced and your third eye to be open, awakened. This was the meaning of the scriptures when they said, when Yeshua said, I'm at the right hand of the Father. It's talking about the right hemisphere. And Christ would be the uniting, the union of the two hemispheres together. So this is what allows you to raise your consciousness. And if you're polluting your body with toxic foods, if you're constantly bombarded by dangerous frequencies and that sort of thing, it can have a devastating effect on you and make it much harder for you. But there are those of us out there somewhere that don't have as much of a hard time as other people just because of their DNA, their makeup, and perhaps their mental and emotional body when they incarnated. So what you're seeing right now is all these people waking up, they're being encoded, and they're seeing reality for what it is, while many others are not, and they're lashing out very angrily. And I'll just say entities, humans or otherwise, that are so deeply entrenched in darkness and forgetfulness absolutely dependent upon technologies like AI or just any technologies. Some of these entities take the monatomic gold. They're dependent upon that, thinking that it's going to make them ascend. It doesn't. Drugs do not make you more consciously aware. They may trigger something to allow you to be more open and see the other side. But to continually be dependent upon those drugs is devastating to the body. So it has to be coming from a natural state and your own practice and discipline and dedication to raising your consciousness and keeping your body pure as you possibly can, and staying away from the harmful frequencies in the environment. So once we get to this place where these light codes begin to change us consciously, it reciprocates back and forth. As you awaken, the sun gets even more charged up, and it comes back to you, 12-fold. So this was also talked about in the scriptures. It takes awareness to make this shift, and you have to be open. You have to let go of your fear, your attachment, your longing, your craving for things outside of you to make you happy or to feel comfortable or sustained. And so we're seeing that actually happen in the world right now, where people get just so angry and constantly pointing the finger at other people to, justify their actions or explain why they feel that way. But it's really them. It's all of us. We do this when we do not want to face truth, face reality for what it is. As I said before, there are two things that are possible right now with why the sun is so intensely bright. One is that we're having absolutely huge solar flares. And, that's a fact. Also, they're spraying the skies with barium, aluminum. That's a fact. They admit that. But they say they're trying to block the sun to keep it cooler, when in fact that would not keep it cooler. It is actually making it more reflective. The truth is, when they spray, it is the same material that's used in holographic projection. So it's possible they're trying to use holograms to create this scenario where there's a false flag event of alien invasion or whatever, to keep us in a very low frequency, in a state of fear, so they can continue to control. We know they are any control freaks that are out there that tend to flock towards institutions, religious institutions, governments, etc., where they can have power and control. Lots of money, power and control. That's what a control freak wants. That's why they do it. So if you think that it's ridiculous and far-fetched, it's not, because they have the technologies. They have advanced technologies that we don't even know about. And if they want control that badly, they'll go to great lengths to do it. They've even said so with the words in their mouth. They've told you this to your face. But people don't want to believe it. They just believe the hype in the mainstream media saying that it's a bunch of conspiracy theory. You can't believe mainstream anything. Half of it could be true, but the rest of it is a bunch of lies, and they're spewing the false context of the truth. So it's not just about telling lies and not telling the truth. They can tell the truth in a false context, and you have to be smart enough to figure this out. What do? Pay attention to the sun, connect with the sun, connect with the light codes, allow yourself to forgive, to release fear, to be in a state of gratitude and peace. It's very simple. That's what the ancient teachers were telling us to do. Every time this happens, you're helping to make it happen at a quicker rate, to accelerate exponentially. So in the end, it has to win. That state of consciousness wins. It doesn't matter what happens, because nothing can exist with dissonance. It is harmonic resonance that always overcomes dissonance, or nothing would be here. We wouldn't be here right now.
That video came from TikTok, from a user named Apothecary. But let's begin with what the solar flash even is. The idea of a sudden burst of light or energy from the sun, capable of changing everything. That isn't new. Like she said, ancient traditions across the world, the Mayans, the Hopi, the Vedics, all spoke of a great light, a great cleansing, and a new dawn. In our time, some call it the solar flash. It's said to be a moment when the sun, and perhaps even the heart of our galaxy, releases a massive energetic pulse that resets the Earth's frequency, and with it, the consciousness of everything living here. Scientists today are quietly tracking major solar activity. They know the sun is changing. The magnetic field is shifting. Solar storms are increasing. But where science looks outward, the soul looks inward. And the soul remembers. Before the world changes outside, it changes within. How do you feel, Mom, about hearing that? Welcoming?
Yes, I'm welcoming this.
Did you ever feel growing up that something big would happen in your lifetime?
Yes, I've always felt that way. I've always felt that we're bigger than we think we are. We're more powerful than we think we are. We've been held down forever.
Do you believe our ancestors knew about this even if they didn't call it the solar flash?
Yes, I do. I've read a lot about this. It's happened throughout time. It's written in scriptures through many religions. This has happened from the beginning of time on Earth.
Now, what might the solar flash feel like if or when it happens? Many believe it won't be a sudden apocalypse, but a wave of energy so profound that it stirs every soul awake. Some people might feel dizzy, disoriented, as if reality itself is shimmering. Others might experience a flood of memories, past lives surfacing, a sudden expansion of consciousness. Some may feel love, intense love, or deep grief, or a radiant, powerful peace. Not everyone will experience it the same way. It's said that the experience will be deeply personal, based on the soul's current resonance. Have you ever felt the sun differently, like it wasn't just warmth, but it was something more?
Yes, I have. I've also noticed the changes in the sun, from yellow to white. I'm not sure why that is.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. From even the 90s till now, you definitely see a difference. It's almost like a bright, hot white light.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible some souls are more sensitive to these changes than others?
Oh, I do. I definitely believe that many people are very sensitive to this. And then there are many that have been held back and many that have dug themselves into technologies. They don't look up. They don't notice anything but what they're
Looking at in front of them.
looking at in front of them.
Yeah.
And that's by design.
Have you ever had a moment, maybe even in your dreams or prayer, where you felt like light or energy was trying to come through to you?
Yes, I have. Yes. It's a very encompassing feeling, and it usually happens during the meditation, at least for me. And when I'm outside, I just feel a warmth that just encompasses me and makes me feel like I'm home.
The big question, of course, is how can we prepare? And the answer isn't about fear, it's about frequency. What does readiness mean to you in a spiritual sense? Or what's something simple anyone can do every day to help prepare their spirit? Preparing for the solar flash isn't about stockpiling canned goods. It's about stockpiling light in your soul. It's about forgiveness. It's about letting go of old resentments. It's about grounding into love so deeply that when the great wave comes, we are not shattered. We're lifted. We can prepare by practicing daily gratitude, letting go of anger and fear, strengthening our connection to Source through prayer, meditation, art, nature, drinking living water, sitting with the sun and feeling it not just on our skin, but in our spirit. The flash is not an end. It's a mirror. It will reflect to us the truth of who we are. Mom, when you think about preparation, not survival stuff, but soul preparation, what do you think is the most important for people to focus on right now?
To know that this is going to come, it's happened throughout time, and it's not something that's going to be an extinction event. It's going to be an upgrade to all of us. Basically, it's going to be different for everyone, but I believe the farther evolved a person is, more spiritual, I think it's going to upgrade them to the next level. I don't know what it's going to be like. That's what I feel.
Do you think people should work on their kindness and forgiveness or tending more to one another?
Yes, I do. I think they need to become coherent to the now. They need to get their faces out of technologies, get out into nature, and just be instead of thinking constantly. Just meditate, walk, swim, do something for the now, the present.
I love that. It's easy sometimes to think preparing means doing more, but I think you're right. It's really about being more forgiving, being more loving, being more steady. And even when we falter, which we all will, remembering that every moment is another invitation to return to center. If the flash happened tomorrow, what would you want to be thinking or feeling when it came? Or what do you imagine the world could be like after the light passes through us? Or do you think animals in nature already feel this change coming? If you could say one thing to someone who feels scared hearing about the solar flash, what would you say to them to help ease their heart?
I believe that we should tell people, or I will tell people, that this is coming. It's always come. This is going to be something beneficial for us along with our Mother Earth. She will be growing too. She will be expanding, and so will we.
What do you think about all these people, prophets, psychics, spiritual gurus, woo-woos, that are very opinionated about the solar flash, the great event?
I don't think anyone really completely knows. Like I said, it's been documented through texts. But I think all of these people, they have an idea, but they don't really know. I think they're channeling something higher, but we don't know until we're there.
They're always putting dates on everything too. Like, it's going to happen mid-2024. It's going to happen in 2021. I mean, they've been saying this for years. Why do they keep giving dates? They're really giving false hope to those that are ready for this to happen.
Maybe they're just trying to ready people for it coming, but there is no way you can put a date on anything. And if they put a date on it, then the dark ones, the overlords of this world, are going to try to stop it. They already are.
Yeah, that's why they are spraying. I really believe that. I don't really believe it's weather modification. I think the apothecary woman that spoke in the TikTok was onto something with that.
I agree.
Was there any part of that message that she spoke about that didn't resonate with you?
Actually, I had never heard of her before, but it sounds like she's pretty knowledgeable, much more knowledgeable than the fearmongers are.
Yeah, they're so sure in what they say. There's going to be a mass exodus. Animals are not allowed to come. All dogs are going to die. Remember that one?
Yes, that's crazy.
Whoa. There was actually a woman that we heard on TikTok that channels an archangel, and she claimed that all the dogs were going to die. And that's not the case. I can tell you that's not the case. Rest assured in that fact. The animals will be coming with us. In fact, why wouldn't they? They're more loving than we are.
I just want to say to people, don't be afraid of what's coming. I believe it's going to be a welcoming time. I believe that we might find we're living in an Eden instead of a world that's constantly in turmoil.
That would be nice. I think I'm ready for the utopia.
Me too.
Many of us are.
Been ready.
As we close today, I want to leave you with this. You were born for this time. You are not here by accident. Somewhere deep inside your soul, you chose to be standing on this earth at this extraordinary turning point, carrying your piece of the light. And no matter what happens, remember, the light recognizes itself. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are part of the Great Awakening. Thank you, Mom, for being here today.
Thank you, Beck, for having me.
And thank you to everyone listening for the work you're doing quietly inside yourselves, unseen but not unnoticed. Next time, we'll continue this journey and explore what comes after the great light, the journey of ascension. Until then, stay soft, stay strong, and keep walking between the worlds.